So tell me if this sounds familiar. You click on an AI tutorial, the guy starts talking about embeddings, vector sectors, latent spaces, and you're kind of lost in 12 seconds. Well, same. So today, I'm watching it with my wife. Right, these types of videos. Someone who actually understands this stuff, because, she's been coding for like 10 years, and hopefully she'll be able to explain it clearly to myself and to you. Oh, by the way, for guys who don't know us, my name's Orien, this is Zams. We've generated over $1 million selling AI online for the last 3 years. And I'm sales guys. She's the fulfillment AI genius. So she's been explaining all these videos to me. And if you want to watch a series of videos, take a look. Let's get straight into it.
What's the difference between generative AI and agentic AI? Well, they're two distinct approaches to artificial intelligence. And I think we're all familiar with generative AI, things like chatbots and image generators and the like. And they are really fundamentally reactive systems. They wait for you to do something. Specifically, they wait for you to prompt them. And once you prompt them, their job is to generate some.
Let me guess. So the difference between generative and agentic is that the agentic one prompts itself.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it makes a decision, it does something, and then it acts to it.
What does that mean?
We'll find out.
Okay.
Kind of content based upon what you provided in the prompt. And they're using patterns they learned during training. Now, the things that it can generate, well, that might be some text, or it might be an image, or it might be a piece of code, or it might be some audio. These are all sorts of things that we can generate with generative AI. And they're essentially sophisticated pattern matching machines. They've learned the statistical relationships between words and between pixels and between sound waves. And they've learned that from massive data sets. So when you provide a prompt, Gen AI predicts what should come next based on its training. But
what's a prompt?
A prompt is simply the thing that you input into your chat bot or whatever it is. So if you're on ChatGPT, what do you write in to get an answer? That's your prompt. So your input is your prompt. And what you get out is what your AI output is. Yeah.
Sorry, we're tired, guys. We're sleepy. Bear with us. We're not as... there's really like annoying YouTube channels where are super high energy. Like, whoa, I'm so excited. Look, like we're learning about agentic and generative AI at 7 a.m. in the morning. Leave us be.
Orien's not a big morning person.
Yeah, I'm not a big... I'm 3 cups of coffee and then I'll start speaking. So this is hard. Bear with us.
Work does end at generation. It doesn't take further steps without your input. Now, agentic AI systems, by contrast, those are not reactive, they are proactive systems. Now, like generative AI, they often start with a user prompt, but that prompt is then used to pursue goals through a series of actions. And an agentic system basically goes through a bit of a life cycle. So the way this works is it kind of, first of all, perceives its environment, if you like. And then once it's done that, it can decide an action to take. Once it's decided that action, it can then execute that action. And then once that action has been executed, it can kind of learn from the output. And then round and round we go, all with minimal human intervention. Now, both of these AI approaches are...
Yeah, so essentially you still have to have some form of input, but or trigger, right? But the actual decision-making process is done by the AI because it can sort of learn and iterate on itself as opposed to...
Kind of, yeah. So generative AI is like one input, one output.
Yeah.
Make me an image, makes you an image. Make me a email, makes you an email, right? That's like in and out. Whereas agentic AI is make me read this email, and if the email is positive, reply this, reply something to do with this and whatever in this tone. And if it doesn't say that, then do this. So what it will do is it will have to make a decision at some point by itself.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it makes the right decision. And you keep telling it, yes, you're right. No, you're not right. And then it learns from that over and over again to be always right.
To be always right.
As much as it can.
As much.
99.9999%.
Gotcha. Okay, sweet.
often share a common foundation, and that common foundation is large language models, or LLMs.
We watched a video on what is large language model. You can click somewhere to find it. So I don't know, somewhere on the screen we can put it. But we did a video last week maybe about what is an LLM. Around how much of what is an LLM do you remember?
Yeah, not much.
So a large language model, an LLM, is a very, very big data set.
I do remember that.
It's something that can recognize a lot of patterns in a very big data store, and it's learned lots of different patterns along the way. So how does it learn patterns? Like, how does it know what to write in an email?
We've trained it now.
Yeah, so it's been trained on a really, really big data set, and it can generate, like an email. But how does it generate the email? Do you remember? If it was the sky is
Blue.
How did it know?
Through pattern recognition.
And so how does it get the sentence, the sky is blue? Does it word by word, right? So it does the sky is blue through pattern recognition. So it goes, the is probably the first word. And then the second word, based on everything that I know, is going to probably be a noun. So it's going to be sky. And then if I want to talk about the color of the sky, the next word's going to have to be is. And then everywhere in all of these things that I've read, it says the sky is
Blue.
Most of the time it says blue after with this context.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's how it knows how to write it. So it writes it word by word, but understanding all of its context. So give me an example of large language model.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Well, ChatGPT, like 5, 4, whatever it is. 5.2 just came out.
Sweet.
Or make some decision.
LLMs serve as the backbone for chatbots. And yeah, there's actually other tools that are used for some of these other generative things, diffusion models typically for images and audio. But for chatbots, we use LLMs. And LLMs also provide the reasoning engine that powers agentic systems. But before we go any deeper into that, let's talk about some real-world applications.
Yeah, just a reminder, LLMs are only for text-based things. So things like code, things like email.
Not voice.
No.
Applications and use cases. Now, maybe this doesn't put me in the best of lights, but I don't think I'm the only one using generative AI to help with the task of content creation, and especially creative content creation. Now, before work this morning, and this is completely true, I used a chatbot to help write the next chapter of my Nelson DeMille fan fiction novel. And right now, you're probably thinking how profoundly cool and absolutely non-nerdy this guy is.
Well, this guy's super nerdy. Shit. But then, does it make us even more nerdier that we're reviewing this guy's nerdy video?
Probably.
Yeah, on holiday. Yeah, we gotta get our life.
But for many of us, Gen AI does help with daily tasks. Like, let's consider how a YouTuber might use a generative AI system to review scripts and suggest thumbnail concepts and maybe even generate background music. But at each step, there is a human. There is a human creator. And that human creator is looking at this generated content and they are reviewing it. Check it's what they want. Probably isn't. So then they are refining it as well. And they are really going through and directing this whole process. The AI generates possibilities, but the human curates them. Now, agentic AI, that kind of thrives in scenarios that require ongoing management and consist of multi-step processes. So not just one thing at a time. So consider a personal shopping agent. Given a product to purchase as input, it actively hunts for availability across platforms. It might monitor price fluctuations. It might handle checkout processes, and it might even coordinate delivery. Largely by itself, seeking input only from you, only when it's needed. But how does it do?
Yeah, how does it do that? How does it, like, when does it know that it needs input from you? Does it try and go through as many questions as it can in its head before it's like, oh, I actually do need someone to give me feedback on this specific point?
Not really, not so much. You give it a prompt and you tell it, this is what I want you to do. Generally, it very confidently tells you what it wants you to do, whether it's correct or incorrect. And it's your job in the prompt and in the input to make sure that it can give you as correct of an answer. So it's worth spending the extra time and energy and effort at the beginning to make something really, really good, or input's really, really good, so the prompts to be really good, because that's going to save you a lot more time in the future. So you don't have to keep doing what he says, where you take it, you refine it, you have to basically rewrite it. You can tell it when to ask you. So it's like hey, respond to all my emails, for example. So take every email that comes in, read them, understand them, and send them a response based on what you know about me. But that could have quite a bit of negative implications. So you could also say, hey, take in the emails, and if it says something about really urgent, someone's going to die, send me a notification.
Got it.
Or don't respond to that.
Don't respond to that one.
I'm so sorry about that.
Well, it turns out that the LLMs that are behind much of generative AI can also be used to provide reasoning capabilities to AI agents. So this essentially here, we're using Gen AI's ability to kind of think in inverted commas there, and it's thinking through problems. And this has a name. It's called chain of thought reasoning. And this is what LLMs are so very good at. It's a process where the agent basically breaks down a complex task into smaller logical steps, kind of like how humans tackle difficult problems as well. So let's imagine one. Let's imagine that we want to have an agent.
So he keeps talking what AI agent. From other things that we've seen and what you've learnt, what's an easy way of saying what an AI agent is?
I don't know the answer in your head, Zabs. What is it?
It's essentially a workflow or an automation that includes an AI component, right?
Okay.
So like if you have a normal series of steps that have a trigger and have a lot of actions, what do you call it?
I don't know.
A series of steps.
A series of steps. Go on. Sure. Yeah.
Come on, we've been through this in every single video.
I know, but like, no, you set me up, and I'm like, I don't know. It's so simple. I don't know.
Okay, fine. The other way around. What is an automation?
Yeah, what is an automation?
That's what I'm asking you.
It's a series of triggers and actions.
Close. I mean, generally it's one trigger and a series of actions. Can't really have multiple triggers for one workflow.
Okay.
A lot of people have heard of automation, and it means you can do a lot of steps one at a time. So you can, when a button gets clicked, you can send it to this Slack message, and you can send it to this Google Sheet. That's an automation. An AI agent is basically an automation that's got some AI component in it that then makes a decision and acts on its own.
That is planning a complex task like organizing a conference. So what it's going to do is it's going to use Gen AI to generate an internal dialogue. And that dialogue might go something like this. It might say, first, I need to understand the conference requirements, so the size, the duration, the budget, that sort of thing. Then I should research available venues, matching those parameters. Then it might think, well, for those venues that meet those requirements, then I need to check availability and so on. It's effectively the agent really kind of talking to itself to explore the problem space before taking action. Gen AI is basically the cognitive engine driving an agent's decision making. Now, looking ahead, the most powerful AI systems probably won't be purely generative or purely agentic. They're going to be intelligent collaborators. They'll understand when to explore options through generation and when to commit to courses of action through agentic action. Like an agent that would know when to generate the next chapter of fan fiction so it's ready after, I don't know, a video shoot. Maybe it's ready right now.
Cool.
Makes sense?
Kind of. I would love a sort of a quick summary on the differences. I think from my understanding, just really simply put, generative is a input goes to an output, and then a human needs to make iterations, whilst agentic is AI does its own reasoning and thinking to improve the actual prompt order.
Exactly. So it kind of does so think of it like, if you wanted to write a book. So if you wanted to write a book, what are the things that you would think of?
If I wanted to write a book, what are the things I need to think of? A story, an intro, the chapters in the book, and then a conclusion?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're an AI agent and someone tells you, hey, write me a book, what's going through its head is probably it's not its actual head, but what it would go through its head if it was a person would say, what's the book about? How long should the book be? Is it something for adults, something for kids? Whatever it is, all these questions, right? And if it's like a generative AI, maybe it will answer those questions for itself and just make it up, or it will ask you these questions so that it can write the book, right? But the agentic AI will ask all those questions, but ask it to itself and then answer all of them and then make it. So instead of asking you all those questions, it asks itself those questions and answers it itself. And it keeps going in circles. So then even when if you're using, Replit or Lovable or any of these AI agent code generation things, you will say, hey, can you add the button here? It'll add the button. First it'll think, where is this button? Find it, add the button. And then it will also say, check that everything still works on this page. Check that when you click on the button, it goes to this link, all these things. Normally you would write that yourself. You'd say, now can you check that it's correct? But it does that for you and does the reviewing and then comes out saying, oh, I found an issue. Oh, I fixed it. it does all of that until it's actually completed.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get back involved. You're like, okay, now can you do this?
Got it. I see. Only until it gets stuck, then.
Or it's finished.
Then you can make improvements. Okay, cool. Boom. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That is the generative and agentic AI video for today. Again, if you wanted to watch a video on LLMs, take a look on the top right of our screen. That'll walk you through what they basically are. Peace.